Good evening. This is a video recording of an attempt to install or to update the firmware of a Brook PS3, PS4 to Xbox One converter. I apologize for the lighting issues. Alright, so let's get started. We have I've downloaded from the Brook website the oldest version of the firmware update, which includes the USB drivers for 32 and 64-bit, and the newer version, which are the file names used in the video. So I will connect the converter to the USB extender now. This is a Windows 10 PC, 64-bit. As you can see, it's lighted up and recognized. The first time I connected it, it was able to light up successfully. As this is Windows 10, Xbox One driver is already installed. Now let's, before we begin, let us take a look at the devices and printers. Right off the bat, the controller is recognized as a controller. And that's one difference between this video and the video that was released on December 31st for instructional purposes. So let's take a look at it. Looking at the hardware, there is a USB input device, Xbox controller, and an input compatible HID device. For all intents and purposes, this is already recognized as an Xbox One controller, as it should be. This is a PS3 controller plugged in with a mini B USB cable. Okay, so let's get this firmware update started. Running in administrator mode. All right. So I will follow the instructions. You probably won't be able to see anything because of the lighting. It's flashing. All right, ready to update firmware. So far, so good for the A portion of the update. All right, update successful. Very importantly, disengage. As you can see, it is solid now. All right, close this out. Run this as administrator. This is the B portion. Here's where I run into problems. Flashing. Press the right stick, then the PS button. Let go of the PS button and the right stick. Solid. However, the screen does not change. The instructions are now to install the USB driver for 64-bit. So let's get doing that. So we go to devices and printers. The controller is the only one that shows up. So let's go to Properties, Hardware, USB input device. Let's start with Xbox controller. Now if I go to driver, it won't do anything unless I unlock it by changing the settings. So now I can go to driver. Oh, by the way, it says this device is working properly. I go to driver, update driver, browse my computer for driver software. Let me pick from a list of device drivers on my computer, and you selected the Xbox gaming device, so I will as well. Have disk, browse, and let's go to downloads. Wow. All right, and this is the only folder that you have on your website with the drivers in it, so I assume this is the one, 64-bit, so ZP USB X64 driver, open, OK. The folder you specified doesn't contain a compatible software driver for your device. If the folder contains a driver, make sure it is designed to work with Windows for X64-based systems. Now, experimenting with this previously, here's what I can do. I can go to the USB input device, Properties, Change Settings, Driver, Update Driver, same, and I only have one to select from, have disk, browse, ZP USB X64, open, OK. And it shows me, in another difference with your video, all of these potential driver models. So I select 0 plus USB device at the bottom, and I select Next. Installing this device driver is not recommended, etc., etc. Do you want to continue? Yes. Installing device driver software. Windows has successfully updated your driver software. Close. Now, let us take a look at the controller panel. USB input device, well, that'll update when I go back to Properties. Properties, General Hardware. Oh, wait, I forgot. Driver. Let me see, change settings. Driver. All right. So, yeah, it won't update. I forgot. What I have to do now... Oh, by the way, let's check back up and see if this is... No, still not updated. What I have to do now is to disconnect the controller. Reconnect it. Oops. Precarious setup. Now look at the properties. And now it has 0 plus USB device installed. Presumably it should work at this point. However, let's try this again. Right stick, PS button, nothing. Let us try closing out of this. And presumably, since the A firmware was successfully installed, then all I have to do is start this again. And the 0 plus USB driver should be installed, despite all these caveats. Let's do this again. Light blinks as it should. And nothing. So, that is my problem. There are several differences between what I see in this interface and what was on the previous video. So please let me know how to fix this issue. Oh, and just one other thing. Oh yeah, well, never mind. The remaining thing, the reason I'm doing this, even though the controller already works, is to enable it to work with a PS360 Plus enabled controller. Having gone through all these steps, I've tested it, and no inputs are recognized. Well, thank you very much.